I'm not a character designer, and sometimes it's hard for me to figure out what I want to draw. So, I asked you guys to submit your original characters in my Discord for me to draw. Now, I'm not going to be fixing or giving feedback. I'm literally just going to be drawing your characters in my style, just because I thought it might be fun to give my take on your characters. Okay, so on Discord, there was a ton of submissions from a lot of very talented artists. And sadly, I won't be able to get through them all, even though maybe I'll do some other videos. But I've decided to pick one or two to draw. So the first one I'm doing is from Emilio, and it's this cool like demon flame dancer type character. They didn't give her a name on the post, so you know, it's this nameless character. I really like the way they drew it. I like the outfit, I like the colors, I like the silhouette and shapes of it. I like these little hair like antenna things. So here I was just trying to rough out and figured out the overall feeling of the pose. I wanted to see how much I could get away with changing and make it still feel like the character. So here I was going for more of like a leaning forward type pose. Yeah, that's a good starting off point. Kind of go with this overall pose. And now we start figuring out the actual design of this drawing. So I'm not a character designer, I'm more of a story artist. So I really approach things from the view of a story artist. So I don't really love designing characters, but I love drawing them. So I'm really happy all these characters are submitted, but here I am doing in the clean line art, which as you can see is not really that clean. I still go pretty loose and gestural with my line work, even when I do clean lines. I can't really do clean. It's not really my forte. I don't love cleaning up, so I just don't. But it's still clear enough that it's readable. Here I move the hand because I don't like the hand being so high, and I want it to be a bit more subtle. Redrawn hair. I redraw stuff a lot, as you can see, and resize stuff. I also rotate the camera a lot when I draw, so I never see it head on. I always see it in like new views. And here I'm adding some like darker blacks to push out the line work a little bit. I make it kind of stand out a lot and make it kind of more graphic. So here I'm going over various parts to like push stuff into the background. And now we start coloring. I usually just color pick really because you know, you figured out all the colors. I'm just going to use the beautiful colors you picked. I'm also not really a color person. I don't really get colors that well. But here I am doing an overall base color. So I can color within that and just do like masking layers. So I never have to color within the lines more than once. So here I am doing her basic skin tone. And I fill that in. I come in with red for the hair. Just blocking in the very basic colors first. Going in on the dress. Just whatever colors are the same, I go in the same. Try to simplify it and do it as quick as possible. Here, I really like this kind of like lace thing. It's kind of the see-through thing, so I added that in. I really like that. Coloring the ears. I go in the nails, the face. The face to me is really important, so I usually take a bit more time doing the face. So here I took this kind of dark purple color and I did a multiply layer and lowered the opacity to kind of start blocking in the shadows. I realized the light was coming beneath this character, kind of like there's like a pit of fire beneath her. So I just took this dark purple and started blocking in shadow to represent the light coming from below. And then I go in with the highlights, this kind of really nice bright pink highlight, which was a really nice choice by Emilio. So I go in, do all those highlights, and then they did this kind of like yellow hard light, which kind of helps it feel like there's kind of like fire beneath the character, which was really cool. So I added that in. Sorry, I'm spinning around so much. I'm looking at it back now, and it's kind of motion sick inducing. And then they had these cool like frills on the character's dress, which I added in because it added a nice little bit of detail. Here I resize it and just fix it because I felt like the legs were too short, which I often do. There we go, the first one. Yeah, thanks for the submission, Emilio. It was extremely fun to draw. Sorry if I didn't do your character justice, but she was still super fun to draw. I kind of gave her a more comic booky look. But yeah, hope you enjoyed watching me draw her. Okay, so this next character design comes from Short, Sweet, and to the Point. And they gave this kind of like lineup of fantasy characters they made. So I'm just going to pick one of them. And I'm going to pick this kind of like fantasy elf girl over here who kind of looks like a pirate, because I think pirates are cool. I think elves are cool, and it's the most fantasy to me. So I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with this. I also really like the long hair and the outfit and the cool flowing stuff and the leaves in the hair and all that jazz. And again, thank you for submitting your character. I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. And obviously coming from more of a story background, I'm going to try to pose out this character in a way that I think will help tell their personality in the best way possible. So here I started with trying to figure out the pose and what kind of pose spoke to me the most, and then trying to clean up from there after I got something that I liked. Trying to figure out the hand pose a lot, trying to figure out what would best represent this character. And I figured this kind of like finger leading on the cheek would look cute, so I did that. And here I cut off the feet just because I don't really want to draw the feet, so I just ignored it. Here I'm cleaning up. So here I'm just trying to keep the same energy as my rough sketch had. So I'm trying to keep it kind of rough and loose even as I'm cleaning up. Trying to figure out what the best expression for her. And I kind of gave her this kind of like sassy little, DreamWorks face. Like a one eyebrow down and one eyebrow up. And here I'm just trying to figure out the like folds of the cloth. Trying to make it feel kind of chunky and appealing. Kind of like how it was on the original character. I was trying to emulate some of that. These are kind of like nice chunky shapes. And here I spent a long time redrawing the hand, which was cut out because you guys don't have to see that. But yeah, it took me a while to do this hand. And I decided the lines for the lips I didn't really like, so I took that off. And here I'm doing some finishing touches, adding in the earrings, adding in some of those, areas of black to try to push things to the front, push some things to the back, make it look a bit more graphic. Here I decided I did too much, so I like erased some of them. Sometimes I overdo it. That happens quite often. And now we start with the coloring. I color picked the skin, but I changed it to be a bit less vibrant, kind of a bit more of a muted pink. I kept the hair color the same because I really liked that kind of blonde look with the pink. Here I'm adding in the shirt color. I'm just kind of blocking in the colors and then trying to add in the textures and the lighting later. Coloring in the pants. Now here I start on the face, which I put a bit more time and detail into the face. Here I do the lips in kind of this kind of like lineless coloring texture, because I kind of like how it doesn't stand out as much. And here I am blocking in the shadow, kind of just doing a generic, top-down shadow, adding in a little bit of more of a textured shadow for this one, just because it's not as pronounced. Trying to figure out how all the shadows lay across this character. I realized I forgot the boots, so I did that quickly. Here I'm trying to figure out if I should do like a lip dimple. I decided against it. And now I add in the leaves, which I also did in this kind of lineless style. The original was lined, like a colored line, but I thought it might be appealing if I just did this kind of like lineless so it doesn't stand out as much. Hopefully it worked. Not really sure. And then I did this highlight. The original didn't have a highlight, but I really like doing highlights. It makes stuff look shiny, so I kind of went overboard on the highlights and ended up like deleting a lot. That is the side-by-side for short, sweet, and to the points original character. This kind of pink elf girl. Very cool, unique designs. I've never seen a pink elf before, so that was cool. I don't know if it's an elf, correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe it's like a mermaid. Maybe it's like a merfolk type character, like a merfolk pirate. I'm not really sure, but she was super fun to draw. Hopefully I did your character justice, and thank you for submitting your character. So here is the first one, and here is the second one. Honestly, I didn't go too off script. These are very much in my wheelhouse, and I picked it that way on purpose. But it was a fun exercise, and hopefully there wasn't too much spinning. I realize I spin a lot when I draw, and it might make someone motion sick, so sorry. Thank you so much for submitting all your original characters on Discord. I'm sorry I didn't get to, well, most of them, but there was like 50 of them in there, and all amazing characters. Everyone is really, really talented and better at designing characters than I am. But again, thank you guys for giving me content and stuff to draw. It was a lot of fun. Please keep submitting your original characters because I do want to get through a lot more of them and just do a bunch. Maybe I'll do a stream. Who knows? And yeah, like, comment, subscribe if you like this. Let me know what you want to see next, and bye.